Look, I understand Corbin Burnes being traded by the Brewers just sounds kind of stupid. I mean, the Brewers, they are still in contention for the postseason. But Corbin Burnes and the Brewers, yeah, they're not on the best terms. You can check this video out to see why, but in a nutshell, the Brewers are just too cheap to pay Corbin Burnes. They flat out just embarrassed him in arbitration this year before the year even started. So yeah, they're not on the same playing field. But hey, if they make a trade like this, they get immediate impact offensively and two pitchers that I believe the Brewers can turn around to bring life back into that starting rotation, even if they're losing Corbin Burnes. So to be honest, I think it makes less sense if they don't trade Corbin Burnes. Let's get into that. So at the time of making this video, the Baltimore Orioles have captured first place, and well, it's because their offense is amazing. Their starting pitching has been kind of, good at times and not so good at times, but let's be honest, if this team could add two pitchers, one being an absolute ace, one of the best pitchers in baseball, I think they would be my favorites to be in the World Series. Them or the Rangers. So the first guy is obviously Corbin Burnes, and we all know what the Orioles are going to get with Corbin Burnes. Look, 3 straight years, he was top 10 in the Cy Young, and he won the Cy Young in one of those years in 2021. And let's not forget, Corbin Burnes is not a free agent until after next year, so this isn't a rental. And what you get with Corbin Burnes is a man that can take game 1 of any series in the postseason, and he can really bring stability to this pitching rotation. Every team you see in the postseason usually has a dominant ace on the mound. Now, granted, it doesn't have to be one of the best pitchers in baseball like Corbin Burnes, but hey, when you're the Orioles and you've got a stacked lineup and you've got top prospects sitting on the bench, why not trade some top prospects? But hey, like I said before, the Orioles could really use 2 pitchers, and well, why not get them from the same team? Because the Brewers have a guy in Wade Miley that's going to be a free agent at the end of the year anyways. If you can pick him up, especially with the year he's having, I think it's a perfect fit because he can be your number 2 or 3 starter for the rest of the year. And I mean, this guy's a vet. He's going to eat a lot of innings from this team. It gives you a guy throwing from the left-handed side, which is always nice for matchups in the postseason. And hey, he's not been bad. In 67 innings, he's 6-2 with an ERA of 3.06. I mean, heck, that ERA is better than Corbin Burnes' ERA this year. And let's not forget, this Orioles team is pretty young. It wouldn't hurt to get another veteran on this team to just kind of help these guys get through the weeds of the rest of the year and again in the postseason. But if the Orioles want this kind of package sent to them, they're going to have to give up a lot of talent. And while they're giving up 4 prospects, 2 of these guys, they're ready to be in the big leagues right now. So let's start it off with a bang with Heston Kjerstad. He's a 24-year-old outfield prospect that ranks number 4 in the Orioles system and number 36 in the top 100 of the MLB's top prospects. And the dude is straight mashing in AAA right now. In 77 games so far, he has an on-base percentage of 398. Oh yeah, and a batting average of 321, and his 16 home runs are giving him a 576 slugging percentage. Oh, and his OPS is just right under 1,000. This kid far and away leads this package because not only are you getting this kind of bat, but he's also a good right fielder with a plus arm. And really, the Brewers could use some help in right field. Tyrone Taylor, he's okay, but they could use a guy that could be a perennial all-star for the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, this guy is a prospect that's ranked just below Colton Cowser, and look where Colton Cowser is right now. He's on the bench for the Baltimore Orioles. So I know Orioles fans, you're going to say, no, not Heston Kjerstad. Come on, he's never going to see playing time. Maybe in like 2 years, 3 years, you guys don't have a spot for this guy. And the Brewers could really use offense. They're a pitching factory. They never have offense. And speaking of more offense, let's talk about the final position player in this trade, the Orioles' number 5 overall prospect, Joey Ortiz. Ortiz is a 25-year-old middle infielder that would be perfect because Willy Adames may not come back after 2024. Next year, Willy Adames is probably going to leave in free agency. The Brewers aren't going to pay him. And Joey Ortiz is a guy that can play shortstop, second base, and he can play third base for now until you see what's going on with Willy Adames. He has seen some time with the Baltimore Orioles this year, but he hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time because, again, that lineup is loaded. But listen to what he's done in AAA this year. This guy has a 342 batting average and an on-base percentage over 400. You might say, oh, but it's a small sample size. No, we're talking 200 ABs, and he's still got a batting average over 340, on base over 400. I think the Brewers will take that, especially for a guy that is major league ready right now. This guy's got way too much value to be sitting on the bench, so the Orioles would be smart to just capitalize on his peak value and use him to get Corbin Burnes. Now, our last two prospects are both pitchers, but hey, the Brewers are a pitching factory, and I think they can turn these guys around to really help balance out that rotation and fill the holes that are left as early as 2024. First, let's talk about Seth Johnson, a 24-year-old right-handed starting pitcher that is currently the number 14 overall prospect in the Orioles system. And hey, this guy's in AAA, so could be major league ready now. I mean, I think so, because right now, AAA hitters are hitting .232 against him. And like most pitchers nowadays, he throws 98 to 99 miles an hour, but still needs help with control and location. He does strike out a lot of batters, 41 batters in 27 innings so far, but I think the Brewers could really mold this guy into something special. He's got the off-speed pitches to strike people out, and again, it all just falls down to accuracy. And finally, let's talk about Chase McDermott, which is also a right-handed pitcher that is also 24 years old and in AAA. McDermott is their 17th overall prospect in their system, and he definitely doesn't throw as hard as Seth Johnson, but he still throws mid-90s, mid to low 90s, like 93, 95 on the fastball, but his off-speed is where it's at. His curveball and changeup are plus, especially if he can learn to locate more, because he is a little wild down in the minor leagues, because the guy is still averaging 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Yeah, that's elite. In a 9-inning game, he averages 14 strikeouts. Imagine what this guy could do if he gets traded to the Brewers and they can develop his pitches even more to take away those location issues and maybe mold this guy into an ace, a future ace. And then who needs Corbin Burnes? Both these guys would be good for the Orioles, but they're not going to be ready till either late this year or realistically next year. And the Orioles, they want to win a World Series now. I think they have the team to do it. And so it just makes sense to trade these prospects, get two guys in your rotation in Wade Miley and Corbin Burnes that can help dominate in a 5-game set or a 7-game set. But let me know if you guys agree. I think it's time for the Orioles to quit prospect hugging. It's worked out great in their favor, but now it's time to do a trade that benefits both sides. And I think that's exactly what this trade does. And hey, if you guys wouldn't mind liking this video for me, it truly does help a lot. Anyways, peace. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.